Balat Ob. And Ob is the same word as Abi in Hurrian. So she's the woman of the pit. And she is a woman who obviously is successful with bringing up, in this case, humans, ancestors. So Saul disguised himself and put on other clothes and went there. And two men went with him, and they came to the woman by night, because many of these rituals, not all of them, but many of these rituals took place at night. Divine for me, he says, by means of an Ob, and bring up for me the one whom I shall tell you. Then the woman said, whom shall I bring up for you? And he answered, Samuel. And of course, the poor woman understood who he was at that point. And so this is the kind of circle she probably had. And the king said to her, have no fear. What do you see? You see, remember I told you that you couldn't really understand easily these figures who were being brought up. He doesn't see her. Sorry, he doesn't see him, but she sees him. So the king said to her, have no fear. What do you see? And the woman said, I see a divine being coming up out of the ground. And this divine being was, of course, Samuel. And so there is a reflection of this kind of necromancy, of calling up the deities that we see in the Old Testament, and also we see reflected in the Aegean world. I read you these texts to show you that at the basis of all this, there is a genuine religious sense. And it comes through with this last text that I'm going to read to you, the prayer to the gods of the night. It comes through very strongly. The scene as it's set is a priest who goes in the night, in the dead of the night, to sacrifice an animal on the roof of the top of the temple. Because in Mesopotamia, the entrails, the reading of the entrails, gave you the truth about the harmony of the world, and the patterns were extremely important. So the divination was focused on bringing forth this truth, and the prayer conveys this fundamental yearning for truth also. And this is the text as Giorgio has translated. They have retired, the great ones. The bolts are drawn, the locks in place. The noisy crowds are still and quiet. The open doors have now been closed. The gods and goddesses of the land, that is the sun, the moon, the storm, the morning star, have gone to where they sleep in heaven, leaving aside judgment and decree. So all of their work is done. They have gone to sleep. Veiled is the night. The thoroughfares are dark and calm. The traveler invokes his God. Claimants and plaintiffs are fast asleep. So the human world is also not working anymore and fast asleep. The one true judge, father of the fatherless, the son, has gone to his chambers. This is our Shamash. And then he invokes the gods of the night. You, great gods of the night, bright fire. He has a fire up there with him. The netherworld god of war, the Pleiades, Orion, the Big Dipper, and the other constellations. And then this is his prayer. May you stand by, and then, in the divination I'm about to make, in the Lamb I will consecrate, place truth for me. I think a very profound prayer. So ancient peoples did have a lively sense of the absolute, and we've seen it in this wide number of manifestations, because their sense of this this reality was great, and they were able and willing to commit themselves and their resources to honoring these deities that in ways that reflected their beliefs, but also contributed to the well-being of their various communities. Okay.